First, I want to speak to Paul about this too. Radio 1, former Radio 1 DJ Paul Gambaccini at the time of Savile took part in last night's Panorama. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, Nicky.
Well, what a disgusting story this is. And, you know, you were there when he was there. I left when he left when I joined. And, you know, I had him like so many people had him as a kind of sexless eccentric. That was the image he portrayed. But you were there in the thick of it at the time. What were the rumours?
Well, you say in the thick of it, and I have to say that the floor plan of the building, which was known as Egton House, had it such that I worked out of an office which was in between the office out of which John Peel worked and the office out of which Jimmy Savile worked. The Radio 1 DJs did not have their own offices. They worked out of their producers' offices. So even though Savile almost never came into the office because he didn't listen to new music, unlike John Peel, who was listening to new music next door all the time, nonetheless, the production assistants would come back from the program, Savile's Travels, which he would take his caravan out to record around the country, and we would hear stories. And, well, of course I would hear stories because I was next door for about 7 years, and I heard things, I guess some of which were now too politically incorrect to be included in last night's program. But
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, the expression which I came to associate with Savile's sex partners was either one used by one of the production assistants or one that I made up to summarize their reports. I can't remember which was, but it was the now politically incorrect underage subnormals. In other words, he targeted the institutionalized, the hospitalized, and this was known. It's like the American bank robber Willie Sutton, who asked why he robbed banks, said that's where the money is. Why did Jimmy Savile go to hospitals? That's where the patients were. Why, 10 years ago, did a reporter from the Scottish Sun go around a wedding boasting that everybody at the Sun knew about the Savile necrophilia story? Was it because they did have a necrophilia story, or was it because people from the Sun just go around calling living celebrities necrophiliacs? Why did the News of the World and the Sunday People, which knew about this decades ago, not act?
That particularly lurid accusation that you've just brought to many people's attention is one that it's not been in the public domain.
I know that. Why not, News International? You have a case to answer.
Well, it behoves me to say News International are not here to answer that particular allegation. What was Savile's Travels? What was that all about? It was him and his producer went in a caravan up and down the country or something?
That's right, and interviewing people who were doing interesting things, and then the program would be edited. And Savile, as I say, almost never came into Radio 1 because by the time I got there in 1973, he had transcended us all and started concentrating on television. So he would only go into Broadcasting House about once a month to record his links for a few programs at one time.
He didn't even play the records, did he?
He did not play the records. To my astonishment, I just learned that he never learned how to run the board. Can you believe this? The leading DJ of the period didn't know how to run the equipment. That's mind-blowing. But anyway, he had gone off to television, beginning with Click, and then after 2 years of that, Jim will Fix It. And so he was concentrating on his television image and getting in good with the establishment, which was one of his goals. You know, he reminded us many times that he was a member of Mensa, the High IQ Society. In other words, that he was smarter than us. And he used that genius in a variety of ways, one of which was to conduct his life of self-gratification. I was there, next door to that office for a number of years, and I saw and heard things.
Rachel, you're looking puzzled about something.
Well, I'm still confused about why you did not say anything.
How can you tell something to someone who already knows? Remember, I was not present at the offences.
No, but you heard about them. You've just said you heard about them. You know,
yes, that's
time
right.
after time.
I heard about them.
Why did you not go to the? Why did you not go to the police?
Well, first of all, Savile had already bribed some policemen. So
What?
This was something that it is pretty widely known. Not in London, but up in Leeds. And on page 51 of his autobiography, there's that story about when, after he'd spent a night with a girl that he'd rescued, a girl on remand, as his reward, he spent the night with her, and he took her in to a policewoman and said, "Don't nick me, because if you do, I'll bring down half the station house." It's in his autobiography. The amazing thing about Savile is he hid in plain sight. If you watched that show last night and you saw him being affectionate with younger people, your skin probably squirmed, knowing what you know now. Well, he said things which gave the game away.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.